Welcome to my series, What I'm Really Thinking. In this series, we're going to be covering topics that have been heavy on my mind and speak about how I'm really feeling about them. I'm so excited to have you here and cannot wait to have these conversations with you.
Hi, and welcome to this new little mini-series that I'm going to be doing. This is called What I'm Really Thinking, and the name really describes it all. This is going to be a kind of video series that I try and do with the least amount of cuts as possible. Sometimes I do randomly just stop speaking and go into daydreams though, so we might need to cut out them pieces. But I really just want this to be like a safe place, chat kind of styled series. I don't know how often I'm going to do these, but I do want to make sure that I get them out as often as possible. I'm someone who likes to talk. I'm someone who's got a lot of opinions. Some people might not think they're the best ones, but I definitely do have some opinions. And that is basically what I'm wanting this place to be, a place where, I suppose it's kind of like a journal for me. This is literally just going to be a place for me to get my thoughts out. And I'm someone who really is very opinionated, but in the best way possible, in my opinion. Being opinionated again. And I just really wanted to open up a space to really like talk about some things that may be vulnerable, that people don't speak about enough, that what I'm really thinking about certain topics, like it really is in the name. As you can tell, this is a very chill series. I'm just sat on my bed with my 37 socials sign behind me and just really want that to be the whole vibe of this series. I don't want no proper setup. I don't want it to feel like a podcast. Like, well, I suppose it is that podcasty feel, but I don't want you to watch this and think, oh, okay, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want this series to feel like, what am I trying to say? Like, I don't want it to feel like you are constantly going to get things like this, because it is really going to be something that when I think about it, it comes out. I've got my little mic on a wire, so hopefully that's not cutting the view. The way I can see myself, it's so freaking tiny, kind of worrying, and all I keep seeing is the orange bar on my camera go up, and I'm like, am I talking too loud? But yeah, it's going to be a fun video. We're just going to speak about things. I say it's going to be a fun video, but the first topic I'm actually going to be speaking about actually isn't that fun, and that's going to be anxiety. Today we're going to be speaking about anxiety and what I really think about it and what I've been thinking about it as someone who has been suffering with it a lot recently. And I really want to do it from like a business and creator point of view, and the pressures that come along with it, and what I'm really thinking around the way that people handle it. Throughout this episode, I'm going to be asking you guys questions about what you're really thinking as well. This is something that I really want to make sure that I speak to you about as well, because you're watching this and I appreciate your time. Like I said, there's no professional setup or anything with this, so apologies if the lighting shit. Editing me might have to fix this. But yeah, let's just dive. I'm going to keep this with me as like an emotional support. Oh my god, should I do some ASMR? I don't know how good that sounded because I don't have my nails on. If I had my nails on, I could have done I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to just speak about anxiety within business, how I've dealt with it, how I'm not dealing with it. I'm someone that constantly speaks about this anxiety I've got, but I don't think I've ever really experienced business with anxiety to the point where I've had it over the past couple of weeks. It's a really weird, bizarre feeling, if I'm being completely honest with you, from someone who got diagnosed. So let me actually like let's run it back to the beginning, because for anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Lily. I do YouTube obviously, but I also do, if I can speak, obviously I do things like YouTube and stuff like that. I'm a creator, but I also, and my stream of income is my business, which I love wholeheartedly. It's called 37 Socials. I'm a marketing and mindset mentor and coach, and I love that so much. This is why like everything I've been feeling recently has been so bizarre, because I'm like, I love this business so much and I don't understand how I feel, like why I'm feeling certain things about it at the moment. So I will dive into that. But when it comes to like my story around anxiety and everything like that, I got diagnosed with anxiety when I was, I want to say 12, maybe a tiny bit younger, which when you look back and you look at 12-year-olds now, you think, oh my gosh, like I look back and I'm like, baby, like literal baby. I think I actually might have been younger. I think it might have been, gosh, maybe I was younger. I think I actually might have been 11. Anyway, it happened after I lost someone very close to me. I don't want to go too much into that. I have this thing and this Venn diagram that I go by things I want to share, things I don't want to share, and that is in the things that I don't want to and I'm not ready to share, and I probably never will be, and that's okay because that's my space. But yeah, after I lost someone really close to me, I got diagnosed with anxiety. It was a really weird feeling, like, I mean, that was however long ago now, but it was a really weird feeling for me at that time because I'd grew up so confident, so carefree, not really giving a fuck. Like, I was a dancer for years. I danced from the age of 5, I think, 5 or 3. Like, I danced for a long time. And then when I got hit with that anxiety, I did still carry on dancing. I stopped dancing when I was around 14. But it really changed the way I did approach dance and everything like that. So yeah, it was really, really weird for me because I'd been this really confident person. I used to get up on stage, I used to not care. Like, you should have seen the way that I was when it came to dancing. I loved it so much. Yeah, so that's kind of when it started. And then throughout secondary school, like, secondary school is just whatever the fuck it is. If, like, secondary school if you're, like, watching internationally, secondary school is like high school. We start secondary at, how old are we? 12, you start secondary, you're in year 7, and then you're till year 11 and you're 16. So it's hell. The only way to describe it is it's literally hell in there. I wouldn't recommend, actually. I just think don't go to school. It's actually not worth it. I think I actually would have been a much happier and much more intelligent person if I did never go to school. That's another topic for another day. But yeah, you essentially, I started school, so this was this would have been about a year after I got diagnosed, and I'd also just moved. So I moved from a very small town called Nuneaton to another very small town called Northampton, which meant I actually had to move halfway through year 7, so my first year of secondary school, which was a lot. And I feel like I did put on this big front, but I'd literally go home every night and cry because of how anxious I was. So yeah, it was a lot, and I'm just like, I feel like I've not actually sat and reflected and actually gone through everything to do with my anxiety in a while. So I feel like there might be some blank spaces, and then I'll be like, oh no, actually this. I was quite lucky that, well, to be honest, what I'm about to speak about is my best friend, like, but I'm not happy that she did have anxiety, but my best friend also had anxiety. So I was quite lucky in that aspect that she got it, but the way that we presented our anxieties were two different things. And I'm not going to speak about her because that's not my topic to speak about, but she got it, and I think that's really what made us close and made us who we are today. She's still my bestest friend in this world. Like, everyone knows I'd literally kill a bitch for her. She is my ride or die. But yeah, it was weird in secondary. So I didn't have a good time. I really didn't. And I feel like that's also another reason why I stopped dancing. And the reason that I keep referring back to dance is because I felt like that for the longest time was my safe place. That's when I didn't feel anxious. But then I got into secondary school, and then people, like, I don't want to say I was bullied. I don't think I was bullied necessarily. I mean, I suppose I was. Like, not in a way like that you see in these American movies, but like, people definitely had something to say about me. Like, I was a loudmouth bitch. Like I said, I came from another small town, and put up this massive front. I had a lot of shit going on. I wasn't the most fortunate child when it came to family events and stuff like that. I'm from divorced parents and all that shit, so I was very mouthy, and I feel like that's how I showed up. And that really did get me in shit, but then over time started bullying me. Now, I had a lot of anxiety throughout school about my appearance and the way that I looked, and that affected everything for me. I don't think people actually realise the way that your anxiety affects you in the way that you look and the way you feel and the way you think about yourself, because and then when other people start rectifying the things that you're saying and like basically confirming it, that is a lot in itself. So for example, throughout school, it's so crazy because I look back at myself now and I was a size 10 and was getting called every name you can think about for what someone would call someone who's fat. I was a size 10, a normal body weight. I was someone that started puberty very early, unluckily. So the boobs came in, the period came in, so bloating and all that stuff. And I also I just have some fucked up genes and genetics where I do have polycystic ovarian syndrome, so PCOS, also known as. Therefore, meaning that even at that young age, I did really struggle with bloating and stuff like that and putting weight on and everything. But I literally got called fat the whole way throughout school. So then everything I thought of myself, people also saying about me. So that caused me major anxiety in school. And it was hell. Like, especially in exam season, like, I'm someone that I get really annoyed if I can't figure situations out. So, for example, if a really good example of this, and I do really think it links to my anxiety, is the fact that when someone does something to me or treats me in a certain way or speaks to me in a certain way, if I know that I wouldn't do that, and if I know that, say, I shouldn't have been treated like that, I will go so back and forth with myself and not understand why I've been treated like that. And I'll go back and forth with myself and not really understand why. And I literally will be beside myself and will go into a rabbit hole about trying to discover why I've been treated that way. And that's a big thing with my anxiety, is the unknown and not being able to accept things that don't make sense to me. So when it came to exam season at school, it was hell because I didn't understand a lot of subjects. I couldn't focus. I'm also severely dyslexic, which didn't exactly help. But I'm saying so much because I'm actually kind of nervous, guys. This is the first time I like really ever publicly spoke more about my anxiety and the way that it came, but I feel like it's going to help people really understand me. I've been chatting for 13 minutes. I literally was like, yeah, this will be like a 20-minute long video. Clearly fucking not. Anyway, but yeah, it wasn't a good experience. School wasn't. Again, I'm very lucky that I've always had at least one person by me who is my best friend who got it. I do feel like anxiety is one of those things that doesn't ever go away. I feel like it's something that you learn to cope with. It's the same with anything else. It's like depression, like it doesn't just go away. Like things like eating disorders, it doesn't just go away. You just learn how to cope with it, and that's what I've done over the past couple of years, but not in the best particular way. I learn how to cope with it, and then anytime that something happens, it just comes out and bites me like a fucking bitch again. So it's definitely something that I don't feel like you're ever cured necessarily. Like when you've got like when something's mentally not ticking up there, which in my situation, unfortunately, is not. I feel like that doesn't ever go. I feel like you just learn how to cope with it. So I feel like when starting my business, it's something that I definitely learned to cope with. Whether I actually was coping or just convincing myself I was coping. I'm now looking back and I'm like, no, babe, you were literally just convincing yourself. Like nothing was being coped with. Especially now I've become a coach. I'm like, it's crazy because I'm like, I'm a coach now and I teach people how to deal with these things. And then if someone says one thing to me, I literally will spiral. It's so annoying. Like, and that's something that like I teach my clients in at the moment, is really learning how to adjust your mindset into, okay, if someone says something about you and gives you a piece of feedback, instead of spiraling, what are you going to take from that? And I mean, I will do another video if you guys want me to, when it comes to like the mindset side of things. But yeah, so when it comes to business, it's like a whole different ball game of anxiety, especially when you're relying on yourself. And that is something that I've always done. I've always been quite independent, more so especially the last year, but relying on yourself in business, fucking hell, that's a whole new level of anxiety, because you're relying on yourself to be able to pay the bills. If you have freelancers, you're relying on yourself to make the money to pay your freelancers. If you have clients, you're relying on yourself to get the deadlines, so you don't have anyone else around you. And I feel like that's a whole different anxiety topic that no one seems to want to fucking talk about, and that stresses me out, because I'm like, why are we not talking about this? Why are we not talking about how all those pressures come into it? We all speak about like, oh yeah, I have anxiety, I do this within business, I do that within business, but no one actually speaks about, oh, I've got anxiety. I actually don't know where we left off. My camera, this babe right here, decided to overheat, so we have had to switch cameras. I've also never used a microphone with this camera before, so hopefully we're all good. But yeah, thanks a lot. You can go over there now. I don't know what we were speaking about, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think I was speaking about anxiety within business, so I'm just gonna go from there and hope for the best. I'm really sorry if the camera angle and everything has changed. I will prepare next time and not use this. Anyway, yeah, anxiety within business. Let's have a bloody chat about it. So I feel like a lot of people like to use it for their advantage, but not in a great way. As in, a lot of people will use it to get people in and make them feel like, oh, well, you can work with me and you can trust me because I have anxiety this and I have anxiety that. And I'm someone who does speak about anxiety a lot within my business because of the things I teach, but I feel like a lot of the time it's so irrelevant and it just doesn't make sense. Like, I seen someone market something the other day. There are social media managers that if you have constant anxiety around your like post, this is that, and I was just like, what a weird way to market something. Like, what a weird way to do it. Like, make it make sense. Like, why are you using anxiety as your hook? Like, babes, you're supposed to be a social media manager. You're supposed to be better than that. Like, let's not do that. So I feel like using it in a way that's positive for business can be great, but I feel like when it comes to actually dealing with anxiety within business, and that's a whole another story, I have avoided it within business for a long time. I only really accept it when it's really bad and I actually can't get around things. And I wanted to film this while I'm going through a really bad anxiety patch, just kind of so I can really speak about how I'm actually feeling right now, what's actually going on, like, inside my mind and everything, because I'm someone who will brush over everything a lot. Like, I will brush over how shit I'm feeling, and I just don't think that's okay. I think if I'm someone that speaks so openly about anxiety within business and how I can help people with their anxiety within business, like, I need to speak about mine more, and I think it's actually, like, really unfair if I didn't. So that's, to be honest, the reason that I'm making this video. But yeah, so when it comes to anxiety within business, I feel like the biggest thing that comes up is self-doubt and doubting yourself and what you're worth. Now, not to blow my own trumpet, but this is something that does bother me anymore. I don't really get self-doubt a lot. In the beginning, I definitely did. I doubted every single thing I do. Sometimes I feel like, just as people as a whole, there's always that, oh my god, no, should I be doing this, or oh, I know, should I be doing that? Like, that kind of self-doubt for me. Like, so for example, when I'm releasing new services, I'll be like, holy fucking shit, is this the right thing for me? Like, am I doing the right thing for business? Like, when I change things, I have like that little inkling in my head which is like, but not really so much so far, because I've trained my mind to think differently. But when it comes to like other sides of business, like when your anxiety is so bad you literally cannot get out of bed, and when your anxiety is so bad you don't want to talk to anyone and everything like that. And I suffer quite bad with my anxiety when it comes to my social battery. Like, if I'm having a shit day and then I've got to get on a call with someone, I can't do it. I need to express to you guys, I love my job so much. Like, honestly, how fucking you guys see the shit that I get up to on this channel. Like, how fucking blessed am I to have a business that is so chill and I get to do what I want and work my own hours and everything like that. But I still, there's some days where I just don't want to talk to anyone. There's some days where I just don't want to do anything. There's some days where I can't even help myself, let alone help someone else. And sometimes like it just makes me feel a bit like a fraud. But I'm like trying to think how to say this in a way that doesn't make me feel. To be honest, I'm quite good with. I'm really lucky for the clients I have where I'm like, if I'm having a bad day, I'll just be open with it. I'll be like, look, I'm not feeling great. I want to give you all my energy. Let's hop on a call within another day. But one thing that has taken a hit for me this time, for the first time ever, is the way that I show up when I'm having a bad anxiety period. So for me, I'm having a bad anxiety period right now, and I don't want to show up. I don't want to talk. I don't want to get on my stories. I don't want to speak about this stuff. And it's so weird that I've never felt like that before, and I feel really anxious around business and around me showing up. And it's so weird because that's normally the last thing that gets affected. It's normally things like friendships, isolating myself, like being alone and all this stuff. But no, I haven't been on my stories since Sunday. It's currently Tuesday. I'm normally someone who posts on my stories every single day. Haven't posted on any of my business accounts. And it's people are also starting to notice, which makes me more anxious, like, because I do show up so consistently now. And that's something, if I'm being completely honest, I haven't quite figured out yet. I think it's like when you see someone that you haven't seen for ages for the first time, like during like you meet an old friend, it's like you go out for a coffee with them. It's like that. It's like doing that again, like kind of reintroducing yourself to people. And for me, it's literally been 2 days. But I don't know, like I really got in my head recently, and I'm doing all the practices and everything that I teach, and I do feel a lot better, but I feel like it's something that, like I said, it's not affected me before, and it's a really weird feeling. And well, it has affected me. My anxiety used to stop me from showing up because I was too anxious to, and I was really worried about what other people were thinking, and it's not like that this time. This time it's like I don't have the energy to put into it, and then it's kind of going in a spiral. Like if I don't have the energy to put into it, then people aren't going to watch, and people aren't going to be interested, and people aren't going to want to work with me, and it's that kind of side to things. And it's a weird one, and it's a new one I'm feeling, and it's strange. It's really, really strange. Oh my gosh, I shaved my legs and I've made an absolute mess of them. I don't even think... Anyways, sorry. This is the kind of distractions that happen. But yeah, it's a really bizarre feeling, and like I said, it's like one I don't really know how to explain right now. I can sit here and tell you all the ways that you can show up on social media and the ways that you can adjust your marketing and everything like that. I know this stuff, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it is making me feel like a fraud, because I'm like, I teach people how to show up on social media, yet I'm struggling to right now on my business account, because I don't know, I haven't quite figured it out yet, and I'm sure when I do figure it out, I'll come up with some kind of solution for it. But when it comes to like anxiety around everything else and dealing with that, like I need people to know that like I'm not some psychologist, or I'm not a therapist, or I'm not anything like that. Like, this is just me speaking from like personal experience, and I feel like that's something that's really important to understand, because I don't ever want to give anyone advice and it not make sense. But like when it comes to actually dealing with anxiety, I feel like schedules really help. Not overwhelming yourself really helps. I mean, I will forever be blessed enough to say that I could have 3 clients a month and be making more than enough money, because all of my services are high ticket services and everything like that. So I'm very blessed in that aspect. But when it comes to like the way you actually show up on social media as well, I feel like something that I was very much speaking about with my clients earlier was the boundaries that you have with yourself and the way you show up through that. So for example, with me and my anxiety, like there's certain things I don't like to talk about. I will talk about like when I got diagnosed with anxiety and stuff, but I don't really like going on about the ins and outs around that. And that's my boundary. I always say to people, like, draw a Venn diagram. Draw a Venn diagram as like, okay, I'm happy to talk about this. I'm happy to talk about this. I will only talk about these if this feels right. Sorry, there's a plane going over my house and it's like quite low. I do live quite close to Luton, so it's probably that. I love planes. Oh no, it's not. It's not like an actual commercial plane. I say it's quite low. It's actually not that low. Like, it's actually quite high. But like, we just don't see planes over this often. But anyway, back to anxiety. But yeah, so I feel like that's really helped me, is having boundaries with myself and putting them in play and everything like that. Like, that has definitely been a big help. When it comes to like when I'm feeling shit, I just make sure that my background is so organised. So for me, for example, like when I've just not been feeling like putting my energy into it this week when it comes to content, I think it's also like telling yourself that that's okay. Like, it's okay to kind of have a break, to breathe and really take a step back and understand what you really, really want to do. Because if you don't take a step back and really understand like what the actual problem is, then you're never going to discover it. And I feel like that's something that's so big. Like, you are never going to know what your problem is if you don't actually take a step away from what is causing the problem. That is something that I've noticed massively. So for me this week, it's like, yeah, I can't figure out why I don't want to show up on socials or why I haven't got the energy for it. But I think subconsciously I always do know. And I think some of it is just the fact that social media is not a nice place right now. And the fact that I haven't been feeling great, I think, is also sometimes like I feel a bit shameful, which is so fucking stupid. Like, literally, I hope you know how stupid that is, that because I've not been feeling great, I feel like I can't show up or I shouldn't show up. Like, that is so stupid. Like, this is what people want to see, especially when you're a service provider. People want to see this stuff, and I don't want to get too businessy on this because it's not what it's about, and this is about like me actually speaking about experiences and how to help people. But like, when you are a service provider, the content that people want to see is you showing up, and the content that people want to see is understanding who you are and how you can benefit them and the experience that you've gone through. Especially when you're a mentor, like, you have to speak about those experiences. So yeah, I feel like the ways that I cope with anxiety is just allowing myself to feel now. I'm someone who's really avoided like everything for a long time. I have such an avoidant personality, and it's so fucking annoying. Like, I literally annoy myself. But allowing myself to actually feel and understand things has helped massively. Like, so for example, this week, allow myself to take a step back and really see how I feel. And if, say for example, me being off social media or being off, it's mainly Instagram, if me being off my Instagram stories is gonna actually benefit me, and if it does, then why? Like, understanding the why behind your anxiety, I feel, is so important as well, because that will help you then like regulate everything a bit more. I don't know why I didn't do that for so long. Like, I and now even like I'm speaking it out and I'm not avoiding it, I think I'm realizing that actually, I'm just thinking now, like, I feel like now I'm saying it out loud, I'm realising that maybe I don't want to post because of how negative socials has been at the moment. So then, for me, I know that I need to take a step back and think, why has it been so negative for me personally? Do you know what it was last night? Like, I was doom scrolling on TikTok at like 1 a.m. and I found so many videos, and I literally just sobbed because they were really sad, like cat videos and everything, and I feel like that really triggered me. But yeah, I feel like I still have so far to go. I feel like I've still got so much more to understand, so much more to discover about me, anxiety, myself, and I'm sure that this will not be the last time that I feel this shit, and I'm sure that there will be a time in the future that I will have so much more to say. I always do have something to say, and I always am thinking about a lot. and I really want to know what you guys are really thinking about this episode, and I really want to know what you guys are really thinking about anxiety within business and me doing this kind of content. I don't know, I suppose I just want to have a space where open conversations can be had. If you need to offload into the comments, and that's what this is going to be like. It's a heavy topic that no one wants to speak about, and I feel like from watching people constantly always just speak, there's just a lot of negative things going on, I think, is what I'm trying to say at the moment, and a lot going on in the world, and that can cause a lot of anxiety, I think, for people, and then that makes them kind of spiral. I think that has been a big one for me as well at the moment, is I feel people's emotions so deeply, and when I can see like all the bad shit going on, that makes me spiral. But yeah, I just feel like actually accepting what's going on, accepting that this is a part of you, is a big one as well. But yeah, I think that's all I've really been thinking about, to be honest, when it comes to anxiety. I just think it's a lot, and I feel like it shouldn't be something that you feel ashamed of. I think it's something that if you've got it, use it to your advantage. Like, you're gonna feel things so much deeper, you're gonna understand people on such a deeper level, and you're gonna experience life differently because you have this. But also, you're going to be overly cautious about things too. Like, if you have anxiety, like, you're going to be thinking about scenarios that people would have never thought about, which is so shit, but at the same time so good, because like when it comes to things like trains and everything like that, like whenever me and my friends go to events, I'm like, okay, if this doesn't happen, like we need to think about this. Like, say for example, if the train get cancelled, what can we do? Can we get a bus? Can we get all that stuff? And no one else would have thought about that. And yes, that probably will never happen, but if it does, then you have saved your group. Think about it like that. Like, use that anxiety to your advantage. When it comes to in business, just allow yourself grace. Like, it's fucking hard. Showing up is hard. It takes time. You have to train your mind, but also at the same time, you've got to remember that you are doing this for you. You're not doing this for anyone else. I've just realised that I've literally not looked at the camera this whole fucking episode. But yeah, I think that's all I've really been thinking about, and all I've really got to say right now. I feel like I could sit here for 2 hours just waffling, so I'm gonna stop. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the first episode of What I'm Really Thinking. I'm going to film some more of these. It was quite nice to actually feel like I've just got a free therapy session, to be honest. Yeah, that's all from me. And that's all I've really been thinking.